from Real Ale, where it's like 52 IBUs or something. Like it's getting into the IPA levels, and that's what I love is a hoppy, bitter Pilsner. And an old brewer who was a mentor for me at Lakewood, who's now at Allstat, he taught me where it's like if you're making a German Pilsner, your IBU should match your OG.
Ah.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. So if your OG is like 1052 for like a 5%, 5.1% or whatever the math, the attenuation math works out on that, it should be 52 IBUs, and so on and so forth. But so I went that and plus a little step and just short of dry hopping, just made hopped all the way, Tettnang, and mostly Tettnang. I forget what else I put in there, but it was just perfect. I'm gonna make it again probably next year, but it was like one of those beers where it's like big, bitter German hopped, little sulfur note. I love that German that lager sulfur note. So that was really, really good. The hop it I just did, which was a New Zealand pale ale, all New Zealand hops, but I just made a nice, really good dry. I like dry beer. If you come to Jaquval, you're not going to get any sweet stouts or anything like that. Sorry.
Go to Sherman for that.
Yeah, and so even on like the New Zealand pale ale, I was like, I'll make a hazy every now and then. But this one was like proper, really good, clean, golden pale ale with New Zealand showcase hops. I think it was Nectaron and Nelson and I'd have to go back through my old recipes, but really good, really easy, really drinkable, and then that just like perfect balance. It wasn't too bitter, but it was also had all those tropical notes.
Right.
And then 405, which is one of my mainstays. That's one of the beers that like I didn't. When I set out here and I was building a recipes for Jaquval, my original list was, I need a lager. I ought to have a stout. We roast our own coffee in-house, so I'll do a coffee stout. We kind of have a Euro vibe, and we do have an English vibe, so an English bitter. And then I love West Coast IPAs. I love bitter, old-school West Coast IPAs. A lot of the old guys who came through Lakewood in the very beginning were from Stone and Oscar Blues and a lot of Californians, a lot of Colorado brewers who had come through Lakewood over the years, and I'd learned a lot from them as I was getting into everything and as I was starting to learn how to brew. And so just taking a lot of those notes and going, okay, what is wrong with the current IPA that is being made in Texas specifically? Because I can't throw too much shade, but I don't get a lot of good West Coast IPAs. There are some. There for sure are some. I'm not going to throw everybody under.
Right, because there's like 80-something brewers.
Yeah. But Jack, my bar manager, is from San Diego. He always would say the same thing. In fact, he came with us to Lakewood because we actually had, in his opinion, the best IPA at the time. That's what I was saying. So he came with me here, and then that was our goal. Was like, well, let's do the best IPA that we possibly can, and like work through it. And it comes back to that little bit of like sometimes the little bit of simplicity goes the longest way. And so it's just Citra, it's just Amarillo, it's nothing wild, nothing over the top, but with everything that I've learned over the years to just make it as to use the almost overused word in brewing, balanced.
Yeah.
But it's still bitter, it's still fruity, but it's not sweet, and it's not doesn't have that kind of like crystal malt thing going on. There's a little bit in there, but not enough. And I don't like to be like, oh yeah, I did it that one, but that's become like our number one beer in-house. That I'm used to being like the lager, I have the two lagers on and they both do fantastically, but it's like I'm used to what's the lightest thing you got.
Right.
My West Coast IPA is up there in like the top 3 every week.
Right.
Like it is the beer of the house right now.
That's awesome.
And that's very prideful for me because it's like, yes.
Yeah. Nailed it.
In fact, when Eli comes back, okay. I'll have him get us one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So not to get you in any trouble, top 5 favorite breweries in the Metroplex.
Lakewood.
Obviously Lakewood.
No, I would actually say, Lakewood, Vector, and that I'll readily put the bias on the sleeves. I've worked with those boys I've worked with the team at Lakewood and Vector specifically. I've worked with them for a decade plus now. And so
they make amazing beers.
They make amazing beers. They're fantastic people, and they're just good souls that I will always go to bat for. Let's see. I don't know why I just got up in my head now. Odd Muse, Bobby is doing some great stuff. I live near there, so I try to pop in as often as I can. Jack, can we get 2 4-5s, please? Two. Liedersteins, please. No, I'm just kidding. Bobby's doing some great stuff up in Farmers Branch.
What's a weird little throw a rock in another city, throw a rock the other way in another city. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always have a soft spot for Petacolas. Love those guys.
Also, what Michael did for them.
Michael's done so much for the industry. So what he's done, what they've done for Dallas beer in general, I really give them a lot of salt. And then I'll throw the Raw in that list. I love Raw, and I want them to always do well.
Yes.
New Blood, that's really great in town.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure. At least it's the cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, that's nice and clean.
Keep it clean, keep it juicy, but not hazy juicy.
I see that nice little thing you're talking about, the crystal. Yeah.
It's just enough,
It's not like. Yeah.
Tangerine, grapefruit,
Yeah.
bitter, but not too bitter. I actually do plan on I'm still always debating on whether I should make it more bitter. We kind of have this conversation quite a lot. Where my bar manager's like, more, go. It's like, I don't know, hold on.
As bitter as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's so many good breweries in town. It's honestly hard for me to kind of narrow down. Travis up at Intrinsic is doing great stuff. Yeah, and Travis and Carrie are also one of those old school guys. I remember when they were first getting started, doing the. He got he was a home brewer, and then he cut his teeth on the Deep Ellum RIP, the Labor of Love.
Okay.
Carrie won one of those original Labor of Loves, and that was kind of how Intrinsic, kind of got its swell.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, there's so many great stories and so many interesting houses in this town that, my memory of them transcends what's in the glass in a way of, these people in which as you talk to them, you'll hear their sides of these stories. These people and these stories and these hearts and souls that have made our industry what it is, that almost is more, for me, being part of it is what I always kind of think to more than even just what's in the glass.
That's what I love so much about doing this podcast is I love beer. Yeah, and I get to drink beer with people that have made the beer, which is even better.
Yeah.
But it's getting their story through into people's heads and into their hearts that they even enjoy the beer that much more.
Yeah.
And or the place in general, because sometimes people start one place and go somewhere else, or even brewers hop around to so many different places. Like Brian used to be at Deep Ellum, now he's at Ivanhoe, all the way up in North of
Oh,
Sherman.
yes.
Yeah. So he's up there. He's been on here twice.
Cool little spot, too.
It's a fantastic little spot.
Yeah.
They're making it even better. It's an old movie theater that they're starting to renovate even more. So, yeah.
Yeah, the spot in Denison.
Yeah,
and,
Denison.
Oh man, I haven't been there in quite. I got to go back up there again. You should. Yeah, it's a rad little spot.
Yeah, go up there. He's up there all the time, every day. But yeah, there's so many different breweries that you can easily leave out a lot because, again, there's so many. So I have a segment on the show. It's called the 5 Count. Just 5 random questions.
Okay.
If you were on America's Got Talent, what would your talent be?
Brewing, unfortunately. It's all I'm good at this point.
If you were a pro wrestler or MMA fighter, what would your name be?
I had a So I'll double down and answer in the most nerdy question, nerdy way possible. I played D&D quite a lot, and I played a wrestler type character.
Love it.
That it was Triple R instead of Triple H. And his name was Radical Rusev Ross. So I don't know why that just popped into my head, but that was a lot of fun. Where I was a wrestler for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. My friend just started a D&D thing like every other Tuesday at Dr. Jekyll's in Pantego.
Nice.
I've never played D&D, but I was hung out with them when they did it. It's been fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. What are you nerding out on right now?
Warhammer, actually.
My buddy has a group up in Oklahoma.
I have a group of friends that we've basically had a Friday night game night for 16 years now. The same group, like we're just old friends, and we've just been playing on Fridays for like seriously 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
So we've gone from like board games to D&D. We've just played everything and just hung out and just like drank beer and have a good time. And right now we're on a Warhammer 40K kick, which has been a lot of fun. Expensive but fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool figures.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I don't like the painting, the building and the painting is it's funny how that's the point of it all, and I have zero interest in that. I just want to play the war game. I want to play the game,
Yeah.
but I'm having fun with it. I'm learning.
Who or what inspires you?
Man, I don't know why that's that, because I was gonna say the easy answer, my wife, but she does.
That's not a bad thing.
No, and actually, the more because in my brain it was like the layup answer, and it is true. it is 100% true. Where we've been married now for going on 2 years, and her strength of all she's gone through and how we've supported each other as like I actually probably wouldn't be here at Jaquval if it wasn't for her.
Really?
The with the encouragement to try something different, to go out and go on that tightrope and just use my talent to balance on this tightrope that I had the safety of the big large brewery, and I'm trying something new here, and she encouraged or she was supportive for me doing this, and yeah, that's yeah. The more I think about it, the more that's not a joke answer at all. That's the real answer.
I love it. Yeah. It's always good to have that person at home that does support you and isn't just like,
Absolutely.
why are you doing that? Why would you not just stay here?
There's an old joke in the brewing industry that if you see a brewer who's over 35, 40, it's because they have a wife that has a good job.
Yeah, you don't get into brewing to make money.
No, you don't.
It's definitely, I mean, it is that beautiful blend of art and science, and artists don't get paid that much, and scientists normally don't get paid that much either. So
You do that. You do this. You get in for the intrigue, and you stay for the passion.
Yes, exactly. And then what would you tell your 17-year-old self?
Invest in anything.
I've got that itch more than anything else.
Put like $5 a week in something.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I know you don't know how the stock market
Yeah.
works, but
Just figure something. It doesn't even matter. Just put something somewhere. Just do a couple bucks a week. You're fine. You'll be great.
so true. Yeah. Oh, God, by the time you're this age, you have so much money to make. It's ridiculous.
Let's see. 17. I'm trying to think of what I was doing when I was 17. No. It's funny how the decisions you make over time as you grow up eventually become such a defining thing for a lot of people. And I think back and kind of put myself luckily in that sense. I did fuck all from 17 to when I started brewing, and even then I got in just like I was just draft cleaning. I was like, stop doing something. Like I pissed around in college, and it was community college. I did nothing. So like in a weird way, doing all those little in between the things, and like going out like to weird trips, and partying with friends, and the friends you make along the way, and the mistakes you make along the way are almost more important than righting those wrongs.
Exactly. Because you learn more lessons that way than you do learning them in a book somewhere. Yeah. Awesome. I love that. Now, if people wanted to find out more about y'all, visit y'all online, come here to the actual brewery/restaurant themselves. How can they do all the things?
So, Jaquval Brewing